So
Yeah.
thanks very much, Gavin, for taking the time out of your day. Could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business?
Yeah. So thanks, Curtis, for giving me the opportunity to tell the folks all about the Rising Tide Dublin. My name is Gavin Copeland. No relation to Louis. If I was, I think I'd be better dressed. But anyway, just as well you can't see my video. But yeah, so I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, and you know, I started my own business back in 2015 to 2018. It was a novel digital agency, you could say, marketing agency more, and it revolved around basically promoting Dublin's local cafes. And around that, I built a cafe community. I created a little fun gamified app called Personalities that allowed people to create a selfie and see if their personality matched a cappuccino, a latte, a loose leaf tea. So when the end users showed their selfie in my client cafes, they got a treat. So that was pretty much the bones around the personalities and just me personality. There's a little bit more to it, but we'll focus on the Rising Tide. So one of my clients was a company called FreshPoint, who are a fruit and veg wholesalers for Dublin, and they supply many of Dublin's hotels, cafes, restaurants, Chinese takeaways with their fruit and vegetables. So I was out of work. I had to park Personalities. Unfortunately, it was my baby, but having a wife and family, I had to pay the bills, and enough money wasn't really coming in to justify continuing on with Personalities. And so I had to call it a day. And by a couple of twists and turns, I ended up working for FreshPoint. So the company who I used to promote, they actually hired me.
Very good.
They hired me as basically, I'm a delivery driver first and foremost, but I'm also their business development guy. So I'm always out and about looking for businesses to get on board and overcoming issues that some clients might have or whatever, So customer success and business development would be high on my agenda. So come COVID-19, obviously in March 2020, we were all furloughed, except for the two lads that owned the business, owned FreshPoint.
Yeah.
So all the drivers were laid up, and like plenty of people across Ireland, I was at a loose end. But I'm entrepreneurial at heart. I'm creative. I've got great soft skills, as it were, and boundless energy. So come April, May, I wanted to start another business, and with the ethos to help support other local businesses. And how I do that would be, so I bounced the idea off a couple of people, and one of them was a friend of mine from where I live. Colin Connolly is his name, and he's another fellow entrepreneur. He owns a water filtration company called Aqua Filter Warehouse, and he's into the digital website design element as well. He's excellent at it. So I said, why don't the two of us give it a shot? So we created what's known as now the Rising Tide local business platform. And basically the ethos of the Rising Tide is that the Rising Tide lifts all boats. So we want to support local Dublin businesses by, well, first and foremost, we promote them. We promote them through getting out and about, using coffee and shoe leather, for better words, using our energies to get out and talk to people, connect local businesses together, spot opportunities, spot leads in real time on behalf of our clients. Now, obviously, we also do social media, we run competitions, we've worked with a couple of companies on building their websites. That would be Wheelie Bin Storage and the Carpet Fitter, David O'Donnell. So Yeah, and things have, we've now got approximately 30 businesses on board. People are really getting behind us. Anyone I speak to are very supportive of the concept. And it's, yeah, we are registering successes, you know, for a number of our clients, which is great to see. And yeah, so we're now into year two. Last week was our first birthday, so we're going to progress things a lot more now this year, you know, coming year. So we're currently putting together a strategy on what best route to take. So that'll be it in a nutshell. As I said, just to summarize, yeah, it's all about, we're boots on the ground for for the business owners, because you can imagine that the businesses, a lot of local businesses, had to let go their staff, and
Yeah.
the owner was now behind the counter, as it were. So he's not out on the road. So we kind of fill in that gap. But we try to, if you visit our Instagram page, rising_tide_Dublin, you'll notice that our promotions are not all about sell, 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 and they're certainly not all doom and gloom. There's very little doom and gloom. It's all about trying to put a smile on people's face. And yeah, and we did a nice little post there for our latest new member, which is Diamond Smile. Diamond Smile Dental Clinic came on board there a couple of weeks ago, and I found a new app and made. There's no better man to make a bit of a fool of himself. I'm not a fool, but like a little bit of fun of myself. So if you check out our Instagram page, you'll see our promotion for Diamond Smile Dental Clinic, and hopefully that'll give you a laugh, you know.
Yeah, it kind of touches on the creativity, I suppose, that you said you have. You know, you're willing to look a bit silly, but it's a unique way of advertising other people's businesses. So I can see where it gives you a real opportunity there. I'd be very interested in hearing, because you've started a couple of businesses now, and I'd like to hear your ideas around entrepreneurship, and maybe in your own experience how hard you've found it, even though you obviously love entrepreneurship. But how did you manage to learn all the qualities that you do have that would make a successful entrepreneur?
Well, with Just Be Personality stroke personalities was my original baby, and that, so there's positives and negatives to it. I'm highly creative, so I spotted an opportunity at the time. There was personalization was very big. It was coming to the fore. So if you might remember, in 2015, 2014, 2015, there would have been a lot of personality tests popping up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of EastEnders character are you? Find out when you will die. All these different crazy personality tests. Who's your favorite superhero? You know, or,
Yeah.
you know, complete this personality test. So I didn't try too many of them now, in fairness. I thought the concept was quirky, all right, but I knew that people were definitely engaging with them. And I just saw it was kind of bounced around a few ideas, and what does your tea or coffee say about you came into my mind, using with the inspiration from these personality tests. So I figured out, gee, and gamification was coming out to the fore as well as a marketing tool. And I'm not to blow my own trumpet or anything, but one of my best skills is actually talking with people and generating a great rapport and overcoming issues. I've always, like, I'm an engineer by trade, in inverted commas, and from a scientific field, and I would have been very used to training fellow engineers. I was a brand or product promoter stroke company ambassador in one of my roles. I got to travel the world in another startup back in 2000, between 2004 and 2010. So I do love getting out and talking with people, which is why I love working with FreshPoint too. Um, Personalities then was a novel concept. We created a game where you could key in 4 elements of your personality and find out if your personality matched a cappuccino, a latte, a loose leaf tea. And I got some great feedback and some great responses. But what I did notice was the idea for personalities and just personality was very clunky. It certainly needed to be streamlined, and ultimately it was too big an idea for me on my own. I was operating as a sole trader. I used the gig economy, so in other words, I acquired freelance people as I needed them. For instance, web design. I still work to this day with one of my graphic designers. She's absolutely fantastic. Andy Villig is her name. She's based down in Cork as we speak, and she's absolutely phenomenal. So I also keep in touch with some of the others as well that I worked with. But ultimately, I needed 2 things. I needed funding, and I needed a team around me, or maybe I needed a team around me. And in order to do that, I could get funding. And unfortunately, there was nobody willing to join me on my journey. So I ploughed a lonely furrow, and unfortunately, I had to park it. I had to park it in 2018. And just as I said, maybe if I was young, free, and single, with no responsibilities, I could have continued it on. But no, not when you have a wife and children to support. No, I had to call it a day. But
that makes perfect sense. But I wonder, like, what was your approach to failure, and how did you, I suppose, handle that? Because there's a lot of kind of stress, or maybe like a bit of worry that, oh Jesus, this thing that I was working on, I'm gonna have to park that. Like, how did you manage your emotions through that period? Because I can imagine it would be fairly difficult.
Well, one of the things, Curtis, that I realized very quickly, one of the things that you have to be able to handle is rejection. So if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're literally going to have to handle 99 rejections and hope, and still go again for the 100th time. You have to go again. And so with rejection, or being able to handle rejection, acceptance comes along. So, and resilience. These are very much key elements to the life of an entrepreneur. You have to be able to, if plan A doesn't work, you have to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, a plan E. And just because, just say, for instance, your printer can't do your job that week, you have to be able to fill in the gap. You can't, the show must go on, as it were.
Yeah.
So so that would be it on a daily basis. You have to be able to manage issues and failures, rejections, and stay positive. But when it comes down to the crunch, where you have to kind of say, okay, it's not working, there is a degree, like, you might have heard me mention it. I've said I've parked it. I've never said it's finished, it's over, it's done. So there's a little bit of imagine. There's that word imagine if, so
yeah, that sounds really good. And would you have any other maybe qualities that you're thinking in your head that an entrepreneur may need, or say someone who's wants to start a business, like what would they need to really focus on, I suppose?
And what I would say is, right, and this is a key element with the rising tide, and why I'm a lot more confident with the rising tide, is I recruited Colin to join me on the journey. So you need a second person at least to get you started. Obviously it's a limited company now as well. So B, I'm still working with FreshPoint, so I'm kind of I don't want to call it I'm double jobbing, or you could say it's a side hustle, as one guy said it to me recently. It's a side hustle, so
Mhm.
that made me laugh. Yeah, I suppose it's a side hustle, but it's a fun hustle. I tell you, it's great. But
Looks like you're having a great time, yeah.
yeah, well, it's it's part of what I love doing, and as I said, getting out, talking with people, being creative. So definitely, I would say, but Fresh Point is providing food on the table. Fresh Point is providing a baseline financially.
Yeah.
So that's key. That's absolutely vital. Like, so I wouldn't be able to do without Fresh Point. Like, I couldn't do it. Like, go it alone again. No way. That wouldn't be possible. I'd be divorced for starters.
Very good.
So um, so you have to live in the real world, yeah. And
Yeah.
but so what I do really then is I work around my schedule with Fresh Point. So every day is different with Fresh Point because different orders come in. I might be in different areas of the city, different parts of the city, but that gives me I look at it as an opportunity as opposed to a distraction. So and that's part of the resilience I built into my with personalities. That's part of the resilience I built into my modus operandi. The show must go on at all, you know, always. Like, I'm always promoting. That's what I love to do. So um promoting and engaging with people. So yeah, so that's what I would say. So key elements is you have to have a little bit of financial backing, and ideally somebody that you can trust and work with, form a team, and yeah, and then go for it really, and
Yeah.
be resilient. So they'd be the key elements for me.
What
Um,
about what about fun? Because I'm currently thinking of this in our little team that we have here in our digital agency. And I want to incorporate more fun into it because business, it can get a little bit kind of serious at times, but like my personality too, I want to bring in the fun. How do you bring in fun and keep the fun going when you're starting and running a business?
uh, right. Well, you kind of part of the fun. Kind of comes with your personality yourself, because there are entrepreneurs out there that don't like to talk to people, that are much more kind of, maybe they'd prefer to be behind a keyboard or whatever,
I get you.
and their element of their idea of fun, or their concept of fun, is bringing a website to fruition. That's their fun. But my fun is getting out and talking with people, and being energetic. Let me think.
So would that
Um,
be focusing on your strengths, I suppose? Like you said, you're an outgoing guy, you like meeting people. So focusing on your strengths and then getting the team behind you to do the stuff that maybe you're not so focused on would allow you to really enjoy and yeah, have fun in your role.
yeah, you have to focus on what you like, because that's, like, you're not going to have fun if you don't like what you're doing. But so, like, how I would work from a creative point of view would be, I, I'm I'm always looking for connections. How could this? What I mean by that is, if I spot something, for instance, I discovered an app on Twitter recently, and it's kind of it basically, it creates caricatures out of people's selfies, out,
Right.
like, or my selfies. Now, it's not perfect, but I said, okay, this could be interesting, And I was kind of, it was at a moment of weakness, and I actually paid for it. I hate to say it, right? So, but anyway, so I paid for it, and starting off, I was iffy about it. Oh, right. As I said, some of the selfies, the caricatures are good. Some of them are not so good. Okay, so it's not perfect. But then I discovered it also creates GIFs, GIFs,
Yeah.
and I'm having I'm having great fun with them, because they're so cheesy and funny. It's gas, and that gave me then the gif. I doodled up a quick gif for with so then I'm thinking, how can I use this gift for the benefit of the rising tide, for the benefit of any of my client businesses? And of course, a lot of the gifts are music videos. So what's that song? I know I'm sexy or something like that. It's,
What is
trying to look. Oh, there's a song. It was out. You know, every day I'm shuffling. Who are those guys? You know, they did,
LMFAO? I'm sexy
yeah,
and I know it.
yeah, exactly, right. So there's a little that song, right, with my face on it, and I merged that into an Instagram post saying, "Allow Diamond Smile dental clinic bring the superstar out in you, and I'm sexy and I know it because my teeth are bright and white." It's not like they're not. It's just the gift makes them stand out a lot more. It's so funny, and you have to look at it. It's on Instagram, and so that's it. It puts a smile on people's faces, and it certainly put a smile on my face. Or you can see some of the comments below, and it's just smiley face after smiley face after smiley face, you know. And of course, my wife has her hands up to her eyes as if, oh my God. So that's exactly the reaction that I want. And it was the same with personalities, believe it or not. I do still believe there's an element of magic in that little app that I created, because it's what I would say to anybody that's in entrepreneurship or social media or anything. It is so difficult to get anybody to do anything. Like, you can say, "Oh, would you share this, or would you do this? Would you do that?" The vast majority of people won't. I don't think, like, and it's the same for me. Like, I mean, naturally, you know, of course you like to help a friend out, but if somebody that I don't know sent me, will you like this page? Like, then I have to see what the page is, or maybe I'm doing something else and it just drifts off. So for a myriad of reasons, even pressing a like button on a page is just very difficult to get, you know. So but I do know that when I was getting people to create their selfies and discover if their personality matched a cappuccino or a latte, you could see the excitement in their faces. And when they found out, "Oh no, you didn't win a prize," it's like, oh. So it's all about emotion. In other words, like, you know, that there's a chap on LinkedIn. He's a keynote speaker called Simon Sinek. He's
Right.
fantastic. Have you ever heard of him?
I think he has a couple of books, does he?
Yeah, it's all about why are you doing this? Why are you creating this business? And it really is, why did I create the Rising Tide? Well, the reason why I created the Rising Tide was because I know how difficult it is to have a business that's, in inverted commas, failing. You know, you never fail, you learn. But you know, it's not working. And I know how difficult that is. I know the pressures that people can be under and everything like that. Thankfully, with personalities, I didn't have any staff. So I can only imagine if you had staff that you had to pay, that would be really tough. But so what, you know, so oh, what was my point there again? So yeah, it's just, so the emphasis then on the Rising Tide was about helping these local business owners in through promotion, through trying to get people in the door, try to let people know. You can see on the website, the first thing you see is a sign swings down and it says, "We are open." So that's kind of like a play on, you know, like the sign that a cafe or a restaurant, like from closed to open first thing in the morning, you know,
Yeah.
that sign on the door. So that's the whole ethos. It's about it's letting people know we're here, we're open, come on in, support your local business, you know, because they certainly need us
That's
as
it.
Dublin City. And that's how that was the whole that's really what got me started on the Rising Tide, you know.
That sounds good, and I love the story. Well, I love the whole entrepreneurial story even before the Rising Tide. But if there's any local businesses or business owners that would like to check you out, where's the best place to go? Is it the website, your social media? Where would you like people to be directed to?
Yeah, so the Rising Tide Dublin.ie is the website. So www.therisingtidedublin.ie, and Instagram is a lot of fun. Now we've 450 followers, and that's, I'm pretty sure that we have a lot of constant engagers, which is great to see. People that are obviously keeping an eye out for us, and so that's right. You'll get us there at rising_tide_Dublin, and we're on Twitter at Rising Tide D1. Don't know why it says, or the Rising Tide at the Rising Tide D1. Don't know why it says that, but anyway, it does. Twitter, I found, is actually, if you wanted a sharp, what I would say to any prospective business owners that would like to speak to me, they could get me at gavin.copeland2020 @gmail.com. I'd be delighted to hear from them. What we are achieving would be about, we're achieving between 20 and 25 visitors to the website every day, which is not too shabby, considering the vast majority of our work is organic. It's not, of course we do put a little bit of paid promotions through Facebook and Instagram, of course we do, but not too much. We're working within strict financial boundaries, to be honest with you.
Yes.
So just to give a little plug to a number of the businesses who you will see on our platform. You'd see, for instance, Wigaders, which is the home decor company there on the Long Mile Road. They're fantastic people to work with, and we're delighted to have them on board. They came on early doors with us. We have Slide Glide, which I do these bespoke designed sliding wardrobes for your storage solutions at home. They're very swanky and they're absolutely fantastic, lovely products. We work with also a chap called Blake. He's also known as the Game Changer. He's a brilliant videographer and photographer. Obviously then, Fresh Point are on our platform. So any business or any cafes, restaurants, hotels in the services industries that would like to or get a price list from us, please, you can give me a buzz, send me an email and I'll send you on our price list. Who else? Crumlin Windows and Doors. Jonathan's a great guy. They do fantastic. They bring confidence to your home. We work with Mutt's Nuts, the pet shop. There's a few of them, 3 of them dotted around to the south side of Dublin, predominantly. And let me just think. And then some of the cafes and restaurants will be Bounce Back Cafe on Thomas Street. Fantastic people. Bianca and Alex actually worked with me on personality, so they obviously seen the benefit of what I can do, getting out and about, promoting them. So they came on board with the Rising Tide. We've got a couple of Chinese takeaways, the Rose Garden in Finglas, Pentower, Rialto. We've got Oregano and Thyme, a lovely Greek restaurant in Talbot Street, and last but not least, E. Manelli, authentic Italian restaurant in Portobello. Ivano, he's an award-winning chef. He's a great guy, and it's an absolutely lovely restaurant there in Portobello. So we've got a great, we've got a number of big projects in the pipeline. We'd love to get a little bit of sponsorship on board to really take this forward. And yeah, again, so we're expecting to take it to the next level now in year 2.
Brilliant stuff, and I appreciate you giving all the local businesses a shout out. It's very nice of you. So yeah, everyone knows where to go. That's the risingtidedublin.ie. And could you just shout out your email address as well for any business owners that want to get in touch directly?
Yeah, so gavin.copeland, COPELAND 2020 @gmail.com.
Brilliant stuff. Gavin, thanks very much for taking your time out of your day. I appreciate it. All right.
Thanks, Curtis.